Are WWE bringing a Bray Wyatt storyline back? Plus, we have the reason for an AEW title change revealed, and an NXT star gets a WWE call-up. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. We lost Bray Wyatt, we lost Wyndham Rotunda earlier on this year. Devastating news. And so this makes for interesting reading this morning when it comes to sort of what's next for, well, Bray Wyatt.
Better Wrestling Experience tweeting, the idea of the Funhouse and Wyatt 6 are still on the table. All parties agree to move on with it and deliver what's best to honour the name of Bray. It's a matter of timing now. They also confirmed that any reboot of the storyline in the wake of Bray's passing would see Bo Dallas continue his role as Uncle Howdy.
He was never confirmed as Uncle Howdy, but I would assume that there's an opportunity here to sort of make it obvious, make it apparent that he's Uncle Howdy and honour the legacy of Bray Wyatt. Maybe do some sort of passing of the metaphorical torch there to continue the story.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, Tom. So I think it's a great way of honouring Bray if done right, and I'm sure it would be done with dignity and respect, and I'm sure the performances all around would be great as well. But you think back to those Bray Wyatt big set pieces, Firefly Funhouse, all that sort of stuff, and Bray was the real selling point on those. Whether or not you like the creative, I think his performances were always exceptional. And it was very much the Bray show and then all the characters around him. It doesn't mean it can't work. And it could be a way of honouring Bray Wyatt. I'd hate for the creative not to be good and then to have people not enjoy it without Bray and people criticise it as a result. I think it's a risky game to play, this one.
And it is a risky one, but I think if you're going to bring it back, surely the right person to hand that to is Bo Dallas.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
And Bo's a great performer as well.
You think about like the Bo Leave character and stuff that he did there, I can genuinely see, and in my mind's eye, see that transitioning into that sort of Bray Wyatt storyline persona type thing. I don't think it would be Bray Wyatt. I think it would have to be a spin-off from that that obviously pays homage to where it came from. You have to be very careful with it.
Yeah, I think you do. I think Bo could pull it off. And one thing I do love about this is that they're keeping Bo in mind and they're trying to provide for him still. I think they handle this in a really decent, classy way, in the giving all the money from Bray's merch sale to his family. I think that's an awesome thing to do. The fact that they're still looking for stuff for Bo Dallas to do, I think is a really decent thing for them to do. We'll see. We'll see, right? I'm sort of cautiously optimistic about the whole thing.
Cautiously optimistic. Now, it was a busy weekend for the wrestling. We had Fast Lane presented by WWE, which we'll talk on in just a second, but AEW also presented Collision, and we saw shock title change in the tag division.
To say the least.
Out of nowhere, FTR no longer champs. It's Big Bill and Ricky Starks.
Right? Honestly,
you all off guard.
You see that match advertised and you think, oh, okay, it might not be an easy win for FTR, but it's not going to be an especially difficult one. But no, they dropped the belts. We've got confirmation on what went on. Andrew and I talked about the potential the one of FTR was injured. We've got a bit more information on that from Meltzer, saying that Cash Wheeler is indeed injured. On TV, the story is that Aussie Open injured Wheeler's ribs at Wrestle Dream, but he is legit beat up. We don't know the specifics of the injury, and we don't know when he and they will be back.
That's a shame. Now, it did also lead to some speculation, of course, that FTR were on the way out, because Dax Harwood put out a tweet saying "top guys out."
He always says it.
It's their catchphrase.
That's what they do.
It's there, but everybody went, oh, but this coincides with him renewing the trademark for their team with CM Punk. CMFTR. So it comes at the same time. So everyone's gone, oh, okay, so wherever Punk's going, wherever you go, I'll follow you. Not the case, because they are, according to Fightful Select, signed with AEW until about 2027.
Quite a while.
Yeah, they'll be there for a little while. Things are also fine between AEW and FTR. No issues between the two. And they had indeed looked to get FTR versus Young Bucks on the card for Full Gear. Even at Wrestle Dream, they were announcing, Bucks FTR 4, it's happening. Oh my God, it's happening. And it's not.
No, I will be livid, right, if the Bucks beat the new tag champs. When they get their title shot, they're next in line, right?
I feel like they might.
Yeah, I think they might as well.
So
I
they
think
can
it's a
then do
massive
FTR.
I think it's a massive mistake to do that. I think let Big Bill and Ricky Starks have a proper go of it. I'll be very angry. I'll tweet about it.
I think the Big Bill thing is brilliant because it's a real comeback story for Morrissey, isn't it? In that he was part of a really over tag team in NXT and then WWE that broke up ahead of time. They were released, and then he had a lot of personal issues and demons that he dealt with. There was lots going on behind the scenes with his life, and he made a really concerted effort to make a comeback, and he's in the best shape of his career. He's doing some of the best work he's ever done, and now he's a champion in AEW. That's a great comeback story.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome, isn't it? Things were looking really scary for a bit there as well. Like he collapsed, didn't he, at the thing?
He had a seizure. Yeah.
Really, really rough. And to see him turn it around, you just got to give mad props to the fella.
Absolutely. Fast Lane was this weekend as well. In case you missed it, WTF moments from Fast Lane and what happened at as well. You and Andrew stayed up late to watch the whole thing. What did you make of the show?
I liked it. I really liked it. It was short and sweet. I don't think there was anything especially bad. I know a lot of people are upset about Nakamura not winning the title, but I don't think it's a massive surprise either. I thought it was great. I thought it was a nice night of variety. Lots of different stuff on there. The opener especially.
A lot of the conversation, as is the case in wrestling in this day and age, came with the press conference.
Jey Uso, man.
Jey Uso had a little livener, didn't he? As my dad would say, he had a little livener after his match.
A little what?
A little livener.
Is that what you call it?
No, I mean a drink.
Oh, right.
Livener.
Sorry.
My dad would call it a little drink of livener, not one of them.
Sorry.
No.
My father likes son.
He'd had a cheeky little beero, a little Robert De Niro before the press conference, and it was like two.
Hope he didn't drive home.
Do you know what? I thought that with that with that kind of chemistry, they could be doing Cultaholic news videos any day now.
They were amazing,
weren't they? Brilliant.
Watching Cody just go like that into the mic again, it is so good.
Giggling, God love him. But John Cena's words from the press conference also getting shared around as well. He was asked about the longevity of his current WWE run, and he said the SAG-AFTRA writer's strike is indeed, in case you didn't know, playing a key role in how long he's back for. He said Hollywood he was asked, can Hollywood call you back and away from WWE? And he said, I've made it perfectly clear you can't do both because of the liability insurance. If I were to try and juggle both, that would be incredibly selfish because I put a lot of people in the movie business out of work if something happened to me. He's halfway through a movie project right now. He said, I can't talk about the project because of the strike that we're in, but we're in the middle of it. So as soon as we get back to work, I will get back to work. But I don't control any of that. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping we can find a resolve that everybody is happy with. For right now, this is the best way I feel I can help, is to come back home to my WWE family. So it's a bit like he's staying with like a mate during a rough breakup sort of situation, isn't it? Or like staying with family while there's a breakup happening, something like that.
Steven's last night in town.
Yeah.
I like to look at it. So he might be there a little longer than expected. It sounds like he doesn't know. He doesn't have a pissing clue here, does he?
No.
Like to the exact length. Because he was announced for, 10 weeks?
Yes.
And we're coming to the closing stages of that time, but it'll go on a little bit longer.
Controversially, is it helping? Because, you want to try and keep Cena in the mix, but you don't know how long he's going to be in the mix for. So you don't want to commit to any sort of long-term storytelling because he could go back any day. So you can't really start to build anything big because you could be 2 weeks away from paying it off and they go right and the strike's over.
Yeah, I think they just sort of do little teasers here and there, and then Cena goes and tells Vince, all right, next week's got to be my last. Right, book the solo match. Job done.
Yeah,
I think that's what's going to happen there.
You might think they might not even make it to Mania with it.
No, I didn't think so at all. No, I thought originally it was going to... I mean, he might come back and do it at Mania. You never know, but I think he'll probably do it at the end of this run. Maybe. I don't know. It depends on his availability for Mania as well. It's hard with these movie stars, isn't it? We were talking about, The Rock coming back, and I always thought, and people saying, oh, Roman versus Rock has to happen at Mania. To me, Roman versus Rock has to happen when Dwayne's available. Like, I think they'd put it on any of the pay-per-views. Ideally a big 4, but honestly, if Rock said, oh, I can only do this date, then they're going to do that date, right?
That's the date they're going to do it. You think so, but yeah, that'll be the case. We'll end on a little bit more regarding SmackDown as John Cena is possibly coming to the end of his run. One NXT star is just starting theirs.
The next John Cena, you might say. Dragon Lee.
Wabadoo, Dragon Lee. I can't see it, that's the problem.
Oh, I love you can't see me jokes. He's been added officially to the SmackDown roster page. He's there on WWE.com. PW Insider went on to confirm that he's been called up to the main roster. He wasn't really in NXT for that long in comparison to some of the other bodies down there.
No, and the weird, because last week we talked about how Dragon Lee may spend more time in NXT before he comes to the main roster, just so they can, work with him a little bit more on that third brand. But nope, they've got, actually, no, he's ready now. He's there on Fridays now. Thanks very much.
Yep.
Straight in there.
Big night of NXT tomorrow. Big night of AEW as well. All the star power on NXT. Barely any matches announced. All the matches on AEW, with a little bit of star power as well, but no John Cena.
No John Cena on that one, no. There's lots happening tomorrow night, obviously, which we will talk about as we get closer to it. Also on the channel, check out the best TNA/Impact Wrestling main events ahead of the UK Invasion Tour, which is coming up at the end of this month. Have I mentioned that? I'm on that.
What?
The Invasion Tour.
Who are you wrestling?
No.
Grado.
It's been Grado. We're having a fight. We're having a good old fight. But historically, there have been some amazing TNA and Impact Wrestling main events, and we count down the 10 best ones on the YouTube channel right now. Is my favourite in there with Joe, Styles, and Daniel.
I couldn't possibly tell you, Tom. It's definitely not number 1, obviously.
Well, you'll have to go and find out without spoilers. And we'll have the latest wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.